Hey, hello, and welcome, Illumineers, to Let's Talk Lorcana, your weekly Monday live show where we talk all things Lorcana. My name is Brandon, also known as V-Squared24. I am the co-host for this evening, and I am joined by Liam from the Illumineers, our hosts. Liam, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Busy week. Also, for the audience, I'm going to try to have my volume right from the start. So yell at
It
me.
sounds good tonight.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
Yeah. When I joined earlier, it was like nice and loud and crisp.
Oh,
Usually,
good.
if you're new, Liam's microphone is usually a little quiet. It's kind of a bit that's been running for a long time, but it sounds good tonight.
Oh, good. Well, that's good news. See, we're started off right. Yeah, and man, everything's going right tonight. Olena is asleep already. So Aaron's over
Nice.
there.
So is Aaron going to be here?
Yeah, she's got a couple things to grab over there, and she'll be over here.
Okay, sweet.
So we can hang out with her most of tonight. Whoa, look at that. Shout out to the live chat. Look at that. Scott in the live chat. And then Fairy Queen, used to be Fairy Queen Mab, now Fairy Queen Tink. Team Infinity in the house. A lot of our favorite folks.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome anybody that's new and welcome back anybody that's returning. We appreciate all of you. Be sure to say hi in the live chat. We're taking watch throughout the night and responding to your comments. If you have any questions, ask us. If you have anything to say, let us know. We've got some interesting topics tonight. Set Champs, the first weekend of Set Champs happened this weekend. There was a little bit of drama, I guess might be the right word, this weekend not this weekend, this past week that's happened in the Lorcana community. Some things to address regarding Worlds, information that we've been waiting for a long time, but we also have a lot of special guests with us, or that we'll be bringing in. So, do you guys do any Set Champs this weekend?
I did not. I almost went to one on Sunday, but I'm not gonna lie. Like it's kind of whine about content creation. It's hard because on any given day you're playing or you're making content, and we've got a lot of good videos and stuff coming out in the near future, some of which I can't talk about. But so I was very much preparing for those, and didn't make it happen. But I went to a soccer game. That was fun.
Oh, nice! So, like a MLS soccer game or a
MLS soccer
game?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got wrecked.
Shout out to Austin FC.
Yeah, shout out to Austin FC. Right.
Yeah. I don't keep up with MLS as much as I used to, but I've always said if I lived relatively close at all to an MLS stadium, I'd more frequently go to those games.
Anytime you want to come out to Austin for a home game, yeah, I'd love to have you experience the stadium with us. So
yeah, I keep saying I'll take you up on that. Maybe one day I will.
Yes.
But yeah, I didn't do Set Champs either. One thing I'll have to say, like, content creation is hard. Just to go on a little bit of a tangent, when I was regularly making content for my own channel, I never played Lorcana less. It was like very hard for me to find time to slot it in because it felt like every waking moment was keeping up with the community and then either writing, editing, or recording a video stuff for a video. So I totally understand that. I've been busy the past couple weekends. Like last week, I wasn't here because I was still recovering from the Lucky Llama tournament. The weekend before that, I had some stuff come up, and so I just kind of felt like skipping it because I knew there was going to be another one more local. Like the one that I was going to go to is about 45 minutes away, and I still had my bolt deck from Lucky Llama that I could have brought, but I didn't really want to bring that. I didn't think it'd be a good fit for the shop there. I had a rough idea of what I might expect. I wanted to bring purple steel, but just couldn't make myself build a deck out and narrow it down and then find all the cards to sleeve. There's actually cards you can't see right now. There's cards all over my desk because I'm in that portion of the set where I'm starting to get ready for the new set to come eventually and organizing everything so that it's back in its boxes where I can find everything. And I can sort out what cards I have extras of and things like that. So I skipped out on Set Champs too, but I still plan on going to one. I need to figure out when the next one is for the shop that's local to the town that I'm in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to go to one later. And Erin actually may play in one, her first one. So we'll see if we can get this deck assembled. I misplaced a bunch of cards. If I can get this deck assembled, Erin may bring it back into a tournament later in the month, which is exciting. Also, real quick, Brendan, I like to do like nice segues into some of our audience questions, but when somebody sends like a super chat, I think you're obligated to address it immediately.
Of course. Shout out Mandy,
yeah,
longtime supporter.
Yeah, thanks so much. So Mandy send an awesome super chat. I think that's what that's called.
Yes.
With a question, what is your go-to tournament snack?
I can go first. Mandy was with me at the Lucky Llama tournament, along with Mo Shamla, her husband, world's qualifier. So really cool people out there. She saw me eat what looked like an infinite number of little like Cheez-It snack bags, and that's just like what
this is a question with an agenda.
what I happened to carry with me, but that's just kind of what I had to throw in my backpack. I like to carry some kind of protein bar usually. Sometimes it's like a Nature Valley bar, or there's like these fig kind of like fruit bar things. I basically just throw as many of those in my backpack as I can, because I never know if I'm going to have time to go get something to eat, if there's going to be a lunch break or not, or if I'll need a pick me up during or after the tournament. So I'd probably say like protein bars are the main thing. Also, somebody will have on later in the show put me on these little pistachio like bags. I carry these with me to DLCs because they're packed full of protein and easy to just kind of like eat really quickly. So I'm basically just looking for protein and then try to drink water.
That's fair. I don't know that I have a go-to. Honestly, it's just whatever inevitably I forget to pack snacks always, and so it's whatever the local convenience store or gas station that I can at the last moment has. Although I've had to pick one, I have something to admit. I had never had an Uncrustable before ever, and they were. And on the ICL, I decided to play up this joke that's been going around about JDZ, slamming the Uncrustables, and so I did it as a lark. Went out an hour before the ICL stream. Didn't know these things were frozen, so I found them in the freezer aisle. Bought a honey and peanut butter because it sounded like the least offensive, and my goodness, that was good.
They're really good.
So good. And so I'm gonna say that now those are my go-to snack because it was delicious.
Yeah, I didn't catch JDZ live in the act of throwing down those Uncrustables at the Lucky Llama tournament, but I heard about them after the fact and went and watched some of the clips, and it was pretty funny to watch them do that. But they're delicious. Actually, after I got back this past week, I went to the grocery store and I went and got some Uncrustables just to throw in the freezer, because I'm like, yeah, these are great. I can just like grab one or two in the evening if I get hungry and skip dinner, and I can eat them. They're awesome.
Yeah,
not sponsored. Uncrustables, if you want to sponsor the stream,
100%. Yeah, let us know. We will snack on them every week. Whatever flavor. I had 2 of them for dessert last night. They're all gone.
That's a good way to use them.
Yeah. Anyway, well, just because we're not for the audience, just because we're not playing in set championships, we keep up with set championships quite a bit. We are all, we're constantly plugged in, trying to keep a pulse on the meta, and also keep tabs on how our friends are doing, and supporters and all that. So, we were, I know I was, and I know you were too, Brandon, like following how a lot of people were doing this weekend. So for the latter half of the show, we have queued up quite a few decks, and we're going to give props to some of our subscribers and highlight some accomplishments and talk about some builds. We have Franz Borden coming in for that part, who took down a Set Champs top 2 split with a green steel deck. We'll talk about that. Green steel was everywhere. And then also a surprise guest. Guest dialing in from Aaron. Aaron's not the surprise guest.
I'm also the surprise guest.
Yeah. We love Aaron anyway. Happy she's here.
Surprise! I'm the guest.
We have a surprise guest dialing in from Europe, most likely, if he wakes up, because it's 2:30 over there.
Can you scoot over? You're like hogging the table.
Yes.
Get out of the way.
Sorry, everyone. Just like, cool. Okay.
Are we good?
We're good. I think we're good.
We're good. All right.
Liam just taking the spotlight. No big deal.
I don't know. It's the lights right there, actually. Yeah. Hi.
How are you?
Hi. We're getting ready to get into the meat and potatoes now. Zan influencing snacks now. Here we go. I was trying to figure out. Manny doesn't even know the same as Zanzan. Belvita blueberry cookies.
Ooh.
Oh
wait,
I used to like those. I did. I don't know.
know.
I'm kind of bored of them now.
So almost every day for I don't know how long now. My breakfast is a pack of those Velveeta, whatever flavor I choose from the store that week that I carry and bring to work with me. Recently, I've been on the chocolate ones, whichever the ones are like full chocolate.
I really wish I could just eat like a cookie. I guess you call them like a biscuit, whatever, for breakfast.
Biscuits. We can ask Carlin when he comes on.
Yeah.
Brandon.
He's in the chat.
He already has announced himself in the chat.
Yeah. So. He's in the chat. Last thing before we talk about bring in our guest and talk about kind of the first part of the show, before we get into Set Champs, I see Courtney Dembski in the chat here, and I owe an apology to Courtney. Patreon supporter. We did not have you on the cover slide in the intro, and if you noticed, I'm so sorry. Courtney is our newest Patreon supporter, and
thanks, Courtney.
Thanks for that. So
I was also on her amazing podcast.
Yes. Okay.
Week.
Yeah. Also, definitely check out podcast from last week. I think we shared it. We'll share it again because it was Aaron had a lot of fun. You had a lot of fun.
I did have a lot of fun.
Yeah. On the podcast.
Yes.
So yeah, great show. So shout out to Courtney. All right. Let's bring in our first guest. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, she requires no introduction, so I'm not going to bother.
You'll know who she is. She's the Beyonce of Lorcana. She doesn't need
a last name.
Yeah. She does not need a last name. That is true.
We changed the
she doesn't. She hasn't used one for like all of the DLC season.
Yep. I even had that thought when I made the thumbnail. I was like, Rebecca. I was like, Quest. No, just Rebecca.
Her last name is not Quest's. Fun.
No, that's just the
we
tag.
should let her in. She's
anyway,
like,
we should
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Boom. Yeah.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. How are you?
Maybe I'll legally change my name to Rebecca Quest one of these days.
That'd be insane. Like the best PR move.
Oh my goodness.
At the very least, the vanity plate is in order. Yeah. How was your week?
Weekend.
All right.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess the week just started. She's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. She's back.
Oh,
I'm back.
And not in the let it go way, but
I'm not a robot anymore. Yay.
So how was your weekend, Rebecca?
Oh, it was good. It was busy just hanging out with family. We moved a tree in our backyard, I'm working on
that is very productive
theme deck for my league this coming week. So
fun.
Yeah. We're doing a Disneyland inspired. You have to make a Disneyland inspired deck. So inspired by like a land or something. So I'm going with Toontown and making like a Mickey.
Oh, I love that.
Mickey and Friends deck. Love it.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
One of my favorite places at Disneyland was Toontown. It was a cool little spot.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the newspaper clipping up on the wall when Toontown like very first opened, like back in the 90s, and they like printed a map of Toontown in the newspaper, and I clipped it out and had it like up on my wall. I was so excited about Toontown.
That's amazing. I don't even remember when that started. Okay.
I grew up playing the Toontown game. I don't know if you guys ever played it, but there was like the online game that Disney created. It's like been discontinued for a long time, and there's a whole community that's like, I don't know if they've remade the game, but it's not supported by Disney anymore. But there's a community of people that like, I can't think of the word now for this thing. But anyway, people still play Toontown. It was like I don't even know how to explain what kind of game it was. It was fun.
You're struggling with the game.
It was fun. That's all.
The Toontown game, folks. That sounds like fun. I want to play that game.
Now I want to Google it.
You should look it up because, like, I don't know, it's fun. I played it for a while a couple years ago with friends when Lorcana was first coming out.
Yeah. I repressed that memory. Says Mindy. No, that's funny. Anyway, well, it's fun. So I really love just chatting with you all, but we do need to kind of talk about our first topic here before it gets too late. So this week, this week there was a leak of information that came out. One thing I want to clarify, and I think we're on the same here, but I'll ask all of you if you have kind of a different opinion, but we don't like to talk about leaks, and we don't do it. And I've seen a lot of really bad, I'm going to opine here for a second. I've seen a lot of really bad takes about why content creators don't do it. A lot of really, really bad takes and a couple of good ones. The biggest reason, I just have to say, is it's out of respect for the company, for me, for us. There are people whose job it is to craft a media strategy whose purpose is to promote the game and to promote the game in a way that's best for the game. There's a lot of approvals involved, and it's very carefully crafted. And when that strategy is broken, or leaks come out and it ruins that strategy, I feel like it's the least that we can do to respect all of the hard work that went into creating it. And so we don't talk about it. I don't know. Do you all have any other thoughts on the leaks and why we don't talk about it? Yeah,
and like out of respect for like the artists that are having cards revealed, like all of the and I think for the community too, it's like it's supposed to be like this big fanfare event, like Christmas morning kind of thing, and I think that it takes away from that. So yeah, we don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, we found the Christmas presents in Mom's closet.
Yeah.
Right.
We just leave them there, right? We don't take them out and like mess around and play with them.
We're like, oh, there's their Christmas presents.
My mom used to tell me, she used to tell me if I ever found Christmas presents early, that she would take them like back to the store,
return them. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah.
So then this information came out. And there was a particular bit of information, which was the date of Worlds. And that we can talk about because what happened, for those who weren't paying attention, which I'm sure is nobody here, nobody watching Let's Talk Lorcana on a Monday night isn't plugged in enough to know what happened. But the issue with that coming out was that a lot of people, and I saw it in my own local Discord server, started immediately, people wanted to go. And so people immediately started buying tickets or looking at tickets, looking at hotel reservations, and trying to figure out how to attend the first ever Disney Lorcana World Championship in Orlando. And we saw the company do something really interesting, and I applaud it. Greg Tito, the communications director
of communications.
Jumped on they made a quick announcement. They're like, hey, we're jumping in a live stream on Twitch. Come join us. We got to see their amazing new studio, and which I have a picture of. And I'll pull it up, but I didn't get it loaded up in time. And said, hey, we want to share something with you. Like, we're really excited to share the date of Worlds with you all. But we have to tell you, like, we owe it to tell you right now. It's going to be a VIP event for the competitor. So please there'll be nothing to do, and you won't have access to the event if you're not a competitor. So please don't come, but like, just so you know, like, so you can come to Disney World, but you won't have access to the event.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm going to open up, I'm going to stop talking a second and ask you all, your thoughts. But I just wanted to say that it was a very quick reaction from the company once the word came out. I think it was hours later. It was less than 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
And it probably saved a lot of people a lot of money.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just echo what you said. Like, I knew a handful of people locally and even just over the internet that were like already looking on booking stuff because they were afraid that stuff was going to get booked up, now that it was all out there. And that's what I was hoping the whole day. Once we saw those dates, I was like, I hope like there's some clarification on if there's other events there or if this is going to be open or closed, because I'd hate to book something for it and then, find out for the live stream that it was closed, and you just kind of booked yourself a trip to Disney World, I guess.
Which, I mean, there are worse things you could book.
Yeah.
Very true.
But still.
Yeah.
But and I think the presumption is, go ahead, Brad. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I think, like you were saying, I appreciate Greg coming on because they didn't have to do that. They really didn't have to. And so I think that, Greg, I forget how long he's been at Ravensburger now, filling in that director of
Not long.
communications
It's
role.
only a couple months, I think.
Not long. And I think that we all in the community have noticed that there is a need for more communication from Ravensburger. And knowing now that that role is filled, that Greg there in his Weezer t-shirt.
Greg was not planning on being on screen.
Not planning to be on, but here he is. So I think him being, filling the shoes of that director of communications role, that in this moment, we just saw how valuable it is to have somebody there on the team at Ravensburger who is focused on communicating things out to the community. And of course, this was a different situation than just normal communication, but he did also say that there would be that he wants there to be more communication going forward with the community. And so I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more from this beautiful studio setup that they have. And I just really appreciated the way that they handled that whole situation, because if they hadn't said something, it would have been much worse if a whole week had gone by. The announcements, if it didn't come out till tomorrow, and people, I know people who did put like holds on hotels and made reservations and things, and they were able to cancel it, luckily. So I was very surprised that they did that and really appreciated it.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Good crisis communication.
Yes, hopefully there won't be much of that needed going forward.
Right. Because the presumption is, this information, Ravensburger has I'm sure everybody's tracking, a big stream planned for tomorrow, where they have highlighted they're going to talk about the next chapter of Lorcana, and presumably this information would have been shared tomorrow. We don't know, but the guess is that was going to be shared then, so it's just a week early. So what do
people are sad. People are sad.
That was my next question.
I was going to say, the silver lining out of this that I'm taking of what I consider to be sad news is that at least Ravensburger is communicating better, and that's a good thing. Hopefully we, continue to see that. But sad news. Worlds is closed, everybody. If you didn't get an invite, which you had to win a DLC or a top nats to get, or
28 people.
Or you're somehow connected to one of those winners and getting a +1 invite. Can't show up and cheer the people on that you want to cheer on, whether you're a team member or a friend or just a fan, which I think is really disappointing. I'll be honest. I think I remember being at NAC, the North American Championship, in Anaheim, and just like looking around at that ballroom and thinking about how magical it was. And they even had a little viewer area and like a big screen, and it was just such an atmosphere of having people there. And obviously not knowing anything about Worlds then either, but I was dreaming of how awesome Worlds might be if it was open. Because I know that there were a ton of people that were looking forward to going to Worlds, and there were a lot of people that I had talked to that specifically decided not to go to nationals because they said they could only make one event. And of course, why would you not go to Worlds if you can swing Worlds, and go to nationals instead? And so I think there was just kind of a presumption by the community that Worlds was going to be open and it was going to be this big celebration of the community and of this first year of the game and its success. And for one reason or another, Ravensburger has kept it closed. And I think that's extremely disappointing for a lot of people for that reason.
I agree. I think that the other thing too is not just people who were planning to be there or hoping to be there, but even people who weren't planning to be there were planning to watch like through the eyes of other people that were there, through the content creators and their friends that they knew who were able to attend. We live in an age through social media where we can, vicariously live through other people's Instagram stories and Twitter posts. And now that's also taken away from the community. So even though there's a lot of people who wouldn't have gone for one reason or another. They still are missing out on that experience as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there's like behind the scenes moments that could have been captured that are going to be outside of like the official broadcast of the event. Yeah, for sure.
One of the things I posted on my Instagram account, you know, just like kind of some of my feelings about it, and a lot of people were replying back their thoughts and takes on it, and there's definitely a lot of sadness and disappointment, and some people brought up an interesting point that I get what they're saying, but I also disagree with it. And that was, people were saying, I think it's great that it's a VIP experience for these 28 players who qualified, and they deserve it. And so it's like, it is what it should be, you know, and it's great that they get to have this wonderful thing. And I'm like, well, I get that, but also those players weren't playing for a VIP experience at Worlds. They played to win the DLCs. They played to win those golden Mickeys. They played for those special promo cards that they won and they played for championship titles, and now they played for the right to play at the Worlds, you know. And so they weren't promised a VIP experience. And so I get what people are saying, but I think the community kind of, you know, was expecting it to be a big community event. And so it kind of turned into something that was unexpected in both of those ways. That now players are getting something real special that wasn't something that they, you know, expected to get. And then the community had something they expected taken away.
Well, and just with the community being there, that doesn't preclude the qualifier from getting the experience.
Right?
Why not both?
Like, why not both?
Exactly.
Right? Like, you could, yes, exactly.
And like the community that's there could theoretically underwrite the cost of said VIP experience for the people who qualify.
Yeah.
But you know,
and I know that we all, you know, on the screen here and in the comments and everything, we all love this game, and we love Ravensburger, and there's so much good that they do, and I am or talk negatively about them, the game, and wanting to see magic happen, you know. So,
and I was like, I don't know if I'm just like a Pollyanna a little bit in this moment, but I do think that that Ravensburger does understand how desperately the community does want to be there, and I do think that they are invested in continuing to build the community. There's like a part of me that feels like there might be another underlying reason why like everybody can't be there or something. I don't know, but I do think that like if it were a feasible thing to have the entire community there, that probably would have been the direction. I don't know.
Yeah. So much behind the scenes we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Basically, yes, there's a lot that goes into these decisions.
I won't lie. I hope they explain some of that maybe tomorrow. You know, like we don't know what exactly they're going to discuss in regards to all of this tomorrow, because we don't exactly know what they have planned. But I think it'd be really nice to at least address and be like, hey, you know, we know that you guys are disappointed about this. Like, even if they can't give specific reasons, but just be like, you know, we had to choose one or two things, or these things came up, or it was short notice, or, you know, anything would be helpful just to kind of understand why, because, like, I don't think it was, unreasonable for people to expect Worlds to be open, especially given the D23 panel that they gave and sort of stuff they talked about that we could expect for Worlds there. So I don't know. I think it'd be nice to like maybe hear a little bit of behind the scenes if they can. I don't expect it, but it'd be something nice to hear.
Yeah. Also, just
there's something to be said for like acknowledging, right? Just like it feels like
I hear you. I see you. I feel
for the community, and exactly that's acknowledging that the community is heard.
Yeah. I can't imagine how quiet it's going to be.
Oh gosh. Look.
I mean, so quiet in that room while
I'm
they're
just
playing.
I'm disappointed for a lot of reasons.
Piping bad noise.
Yeah,
And
right.
that is
Exactly.
definitely one of them. Like one of the memories that I cherish a lot from NAC is I remember it may have been during the finals game. I think it was because I was casting with Tannen. I remember being in our little booth at NAC, and you could like kind of see out the corner where you could like see the crowd or whatever. And like us speaking was delayed by a little bit for them coming through the speakers. And I remember sort of trying to hype up the finals. Tannen was like shouting out the crowd that was there. And like, I don't really expect a response, but he's saying something about it. I'm just in casting mode. And then as it catches up to them, and once they hear us talking about them, they all start screaming. And then it comes through the live stream. And it's just like the whole ambiance and experience of like having everybody there was electrifying. And it's just going to be, I don't know. I hope it's not too muted when there's just like nobody in the room and it's just a couple tables of people, playing Lorcana and the casters casting.
I feel like at NAC they were like piping in the like Disneyland music on loop. I mean, I swear that whole that whole weekend it was like a 45-minute playlist that just played for 2 straight days. I was like, oh, Electric Light Parade's next, but hopefully they're at least piping in the Disney music into the space.
Some magic.
Just like a little bit of ambiance to fill the space.
I think the other thing that has me feeling like hopeful about the future, because like there's nothing we can do, right? It is what it is. It's closed, and as much as we cry, like it's not going to change. I am sure that going forward, that's not going to be the case. If it is, then
I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But I am excited to hopefully hear more information about what's to come next for the next season of Disney Lorcana Challenge and what the next Worlds event is going to look like. And I know that they want the community to be involved. Like you were saying, Aaron, like if it had been feasible for them to do it, I feel like it would have happened. Like you don't plan an event and announce it at D23 that Worlds is going to be at Walt Disney World without the hope of having the whole community there. So I am hopeful that the future is going to be a little bit more what we the community is hoping for.
I mean, I desperately need my coast to coast medal that, like you get for the marathon when you run like both marathons, like to go to NAC and then to go to Worlds. I think people who do both of those things should get a coast to coast medal. Not only people who qualify for Worlds, but the attendees who pull both off. I want my medal.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So that's the non-foil version of the promos.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like you get a promo card. Yeah. I'll put it on a necklace and wear it proudly. And call it
on a bit of a tangent, I do think it would be really awesome if Ravensburger created event-specific merch. This is something that I remember from Pokemon. Where it's like, and like I know there's a whole thing around merch and like not being able to sell and things like that, but like they'll have T-shirts. It's like Atlanta Challenge, or like how cool would it be to have like a North American Championship at Anaheim or at Disneyland? Like that would be so cool. Or even if it was just on a card, like if on the promo card it said Disneyland 2025 or whatever, that would be really cool. That was a bit of a tangent, but
imagine a tour shirt. You know, the tour shirts have like all the
cities. That would be so fun. Of like, the
Atlanta, Chicago,
526 season. That would be super fun.
Gosh, you listening?
Call us your merchandising team.
Yeah, you can take that one for free.
Merch. I know. Ravensburger's always listening. Always listening, Wazowski. Always watching. All the true Disney fans are like, yes, Spirit jerseys.
Spirit jerseys. I love Spirit jerseys.
Spirit jersey.
I didn't know they were until
Lorcana Spirit jersey.
Oh man,
that is going to be the day. Those things are going to sell out in like
2 minutes. Would it say? Disney Lorcana, or I want one that says Illuminaire.
Yeah, what would be on the back? Like what would be the
having like the Disney Lorcana symbol on the front and then like Illuminaire on the back would be cool.
Rochelle is piping in.
Okay.
Always watching.
Illuminaire shoulder patch is.
But what
Lorcana.
color is it?
The
color?
Navy. It's like the
Is it the
Lorcana
Navy?
Navy.
Yeah.
Like I envision a spirit
I kinda
jersey
want,
that's
like,
like
a deep
Lorcana
purple,
Navy,
like
and
the
then it
background.
has like the yellow gold, like the hats. Like I don't have one close to me,
Oh
but
yeah, like the hats.
the same
yeah.
way they've done the shirts and the hats and things like that. Like
Mhm.
I think that would look
Yes.
really good.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I
Yeah.
think Disney Lorcana patch, or
Yeah.
or you can have on the other side.
Now that we
you
know
have-
Rochelle's watching, we're like,
Yeah.
Rochelle,
or,
At
or-
this point, this is what we
Shotgun
want.
all these
We're
ideas.
gonna
Yeah.
yes.
you have
gonna
different-
design a spirit jersey for you.
and okay. So here's the thing: patches in each of the ink colors, and then you buy the patches, your favorite two, and you get them sewn on your sleeve. So if you're, ruby amethyst, you sew
Nice.
ruby amethyst on.
wait, that's
Or-
brilliant.
Yeah, right.
Wait, you could buy
Okay.
the patches and like the deck you play at that challenge, you could like get your deck color sewn in to your arm. I
We're
mean,
cooking.
we
cooking.
need official Mickey ears.
Wait,
Okay.
And
We need Mickey ears with the ink colors,
Yes.
one on each side.
Yeah, that would be
That's
so
what we
good.
need.
oh my God.
that'd be so
That's
good.
true. And then the serious people, you're like, all right, ruby amethyst, I avoid you. And then you're like, okay. And then there's
Think about
a-
how you can psych out your opponent too. Like you come
Right,
out
wear
wearing,
something
like,
different.
amber steel, yeah,
Yep.
and
Okay.
and
Like,
bucket hats. By the
underdogs,
way, I
there's
just always have to
the
put it in
Yes,
the
we need
bucket hats.
bucket
We need bucket
and then
hats.
there's like sapphire amber. I'm not. Yeah,
Okay,
you're either
this is-
puppies or you're.
I was this is making me think of, so I had to take like one of those like personality test things at work where you're like,
yes.
it wasn't like a Myers-Briggs like thing, but it was another one where you're like a color or something like that.
Mhm.
I really wonder if there's like a personality test of ink colors. Like if you play a certain ink,
didn't you do that
are
with
Rebecca tried to put
I
something
made
together.
okay, listen. I made one, but then I made it on a program where it was like you can only have 20 free responses and then you have to pay $50 a month. And so
Yeah,
it
All
was
right.
so silly, but I did. I made like a personality quiz to find out which ink color you
colors you
were.
were.
It was really fun. I'll have to do that
card
again.
card.io. I feel like this is something we could implement in the
Yes.
Robin's Free Play
In the-
Network. Like,
Play Hub.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
This-
like find out. It's like
Look at all these
Pottermore.
ideas. Yeah, it's like Pottermore. There we go. All right. So if you're good at web design or whatever and can do a little app for Rebecca, send us a note. Send Rebecca a note.
There you go.
We have it's all designed. Like it's there. It just needs
It's
the
there.
to
there.
be not costing you money every month. Yeah.
Right.
Content creation's expensive, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Shout out again to Mandy for the super chat. What with that, Rebecca? Like we could talk to you all night. We have other guests to bring in. Thanks for joining us. This is fun.
Thanks for having me. It's always nice to hang out with you.
I was gonna say because I know I need to call you, but every time I
Yes,
think
you
about
do.
calling it's like 2 in the afternoon your time, or it's like 6 in the morning. Like I'm driving and I'm like, I should call Rebecca. And I'm like, Rebecca's at work right now.
Yep.
But
Aaron does owe me a call.
Oh, that is very, very true.
Add it to your calendar.
We'll do it.
Any closing thoughts going into tomorrow?
No, I'm just excited for whatever's in store for us tomorrow. I know there's a few different watch parties going on and everything, and it's just like Lorcana Christmas is coming our way. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
No.
Can't
I
either.
missed the
The
live
gifts have
stream.
been
I'm
taken out of
excited.
mom's closet and are now underneath the Christmas tree. It's gonna
Yes.
Um,
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a good time to plug. We'll plug it by the end. But before you go, we are, for those interested, we are going to do a kind of React stream tomorrow night at 8:00. You get a double dose of Let's Talk Lorcana, even though it's not Let's Talk Lorcana, it's just a stream. But tomorrow, Brandon will be on, and Rebecca you have a conflict, but I think you're going to dial in for a few minutes to say hi.
Put her on the spot. Why don't you?
Yeah.
If we see you, we see you. Rebecca, it was wonderful to see your face tonight.
We see you. If I see you,
Oh,
you'll
no.
see me. Yes.
Yes.
In my back.
But yeah, so if you're interested, obviously follow at Rebecca Quest on Instagram. All sorts of amazing content there, and also tomorrow night at 8, you can get our thoughts. So,
Yes.
thanks, Rebecca.
Good night,
Thanks,
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Bye.
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 Always a pleasure when we get to connect with Rebecca.
Definitely. I always say it feels like there's never enough time to talk. Like
Yeah.
time just flies.
It is. When you're planning these things, you're like, 20 minutes is plenty of time. But no,
No.
it's not.
We always go over.
And we're going over now. Plenty of things to talk about, but let's just bring in our next guest and then start talking about set champs and such.
Are we gonna bring in my NAC buddy?
Yeah, we'll do that first. Do you want to introduce him?
Yes, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Franz.
Franz Gordon.
Trevor
Hey,
Severn.
Hey.
Hey, Franz.
Muted.
Uh-oh.
Hey, hello. I
Yeah,
wasn't
there
reading.
you go.
Hi, NAC buddy.
Hi.
Hello, NAC buddy. Thank you for the banana from your child's snack bag.
Oh yes, at the
Bananas.
NAC, I was just like constantly feeding Franz. I'm like, you haven't eaten in 4 hours. You need food. Here's my child's banana. Eat this. I will go get her another.
Yeah, I saw the question earlier that was what is your go-to snack? And I'm like, I am irresponsible. My go-to snack is a Celsius in the morning and nothing. Until I leave.
Okay.
And then I eat it. And then I go to like a Mexican restaurant. I'm like, I need chips, queso, margaritas, and the largest burrito you have.
Yeah.
I can attest he does not eat anything.
Yep.
It's a problem. It's a bad problem.
Don't be
Yeah.
like Franz.
Do not be like me, please.
Oh, look at this. So many fans in the chat. I do have to say, Franz is probably one of our oldest Lorcana friends. Brandon, the three of our channels, have been around since way back in the day.
2022.
Yeah, a long time.
Back in our days.
So this is
When
There
the
were
only
only
cards,
6 cards.
Yeah.
We had to make content off of 6 cards.
Rockstar Stitch was gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Broken.
R.I.P.
broken.
Oh,
card.
you remember when we
I
thought
cry every
DLP
day.
Mickey was going to be in like all the decks?
So
Gosh,
good.
we were
I
so-
remember
we were
when
so
like
cute back then.
Fire the Cannons was the most broken
Oh.
thing, and Maleficent, the
Listen,
one drop
I remember
Maleficent.
when Pascal was dominating everyone.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Pascal. Yeah. Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I hated Ruby Amethyst for the first 2 sets. I was like,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on, pick a different color.
You and everybody else.
Yeah, I know.
6-hour best of 3s online. It was
Yeah.
great. It was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, just magic broom loops over and over again.
Yeah.
The game ends when
Um,
someone makes a mistake. It's
Right.
We'll
So
see.
much pressure. Ursula's cauldron going off every turn.
Magic mirror.
Yeah.
Bad card. It was always a bad card. I've
Yeah.
said it since the beginning.
I
Uh,
feel,
yeah.
I
That's
feel
off
like
the
all
side
of
that
the
I will
people in
never
the
let
chat are always, when we all start talking about the old days, the
There's
people
also
in the chat are like, get over yourselves.
Yeah, there's also, and unsubscribe. All right. So we are going to talk a lot about some set champs. We're going to highlight some set champs winning decks, including Franz's deck. But before we do that, I'm really excited to welcome in somebody that I have been wanting to have on the channel for, I think, literally years.
This is a true statement.
But it's always tough to get people from Europe in because, fun fact, it's 2:30 in the morning over there. But I'm really, really, really excited and honored to welcome in Harlan Sweet, all the way from Europe. Harlan,
Hey, Harlan.
Hey.
thank you for this.
Hello, is my mic working?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
It's
I enjoyed the start, listening to you guys talk about the MLS and the American football, which is
Yeah.
Yes.
just like
Football.
great.
That's definitely what we call
Foot-
it over here.
Wow.
Football. Yeah,
Uh,
footy. Soccer. Yeah. that's as
Yeah.
good.
Well, I mean, we're no Bundesliga or anything, but
I have to ask,
you know,
yeah, do you have a team that you rep?
Oh, sorry, was that for me?
yeah.
do you have a
Yeah,
team
yeah.
that you
I'm
represent?
actually wearing a team, Rangers, the Scottish team. I'm not in Scotland, but yeah, no, we quite like football, and we joyfully watch the MLS. We think it's a very fun league, but maybe not as
It's a
not
very-
as competitive as some of
Yeah.
the European ones. But no, we do like watching it.
Is
It's
it
a very
like
kind way to put that.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
is it like watching like Kiwi football for y'all?
It's
They're like
it's
they're
we-
like 6-year-olds.
yeah, it's we get a lot of players like when they're retiring. They're
Uh-huh.
like in the like LA Galaxy get like a lot of like you have like the David Beckhams, don't you?
Uh-huh.
And I think Messi's playing for one of the teams over
It's in
there.
Florida, right?
Florida,
Yeah,
Miami, I
it's-
think.
We have,
It's always when they're like
He's
can't
in
get on a
fact
team
playing-
here, they'll go over there and just play and earn tons of money.
It's like
Yeah,
watching
you guys
a
will-
charity. It's like watching a charity golf event where it's like celebrities and then really old golf players.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's fun to watch.
Messi's actually playing for David Beckham's team, so I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
it's like the best
Yeah.
of both worlds. There.
We got Ruiz is over here.
Okay, just no.
Gerard.
Let's talk about
Um,
Lorcana. The people who talk are like,
sorry. Yeah,
"Mm,
soccer.
this is-
Soccer's also
Is this an MLS?
soccer's also fun.
show?
Verde, shout out to Go Per Steven. Yeah, Verde, go Austin.
Listos.
Score a goal, please, in the name of God. 7 goals in like 11 games. Garbage. All right, but we're gonna score a lot this weekend on the USL team. All right, let's talk about Lorcana. So for those nobody's unfamiliar, Harlan is one of the best players in Europe, always brewing up fun decks. Harlan, I think we have you to thank for the name Kiwi Birds as well. Do we not?
Yeah, that was a interesting one. And yeah, if anyone it doesn't know, I don't blame you if you don't know who I am. I'm sort of a Sapphire Steel gremlin, and I just sort of continuously play that color combo even past the ban, and it's sort of deaf. But yeah, Kiwi Birds was like a nickname from our testing group, and then I put it as my like little Dreamborn name. And then when Inkdex took my list for something I'd won, they like just posted it there, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's a funny name." So, and now ever since then, all of my YouTube comments are, "Why is it called Kiwi Birds?" And I've had to answer that question about 100 times.
That is the most asked question I've seen in Lorcana, and I like it's not even in your YouTube, like it's on Twitter and in Discords.
It's
always
either,
see why is it
it's-
Kiwi Birds?
why is it Kiwi Birds, or there is no birds in this deck?
There are no birds.
Where are the birds?
Yes, there's Scrooge McDuck sometimes. So there you go. There's a bird. But,
Yeah, there you go.
Foul.
yeah.
But Harlan, like, why is it called Kiwi Birds?
It's a weird one. So like when me and Justin's the man who made the list. He won the 10K the other on Saturday with it. And we were just sat in a Discord call, and our friend Dave, who goes, I think his name is Attack for Two. Have you ever heard that name floating around? Just called us Kiwi Birds because we used to like join together in the call. We'd hop in like 2 little birds, sort of crossing the road, and then a few of us others would, and he just nicknamed us that, and we just called the deck that. And then we're sort of aiming to call every deck that we create after different unique birds now, and hopefully have this like array of different type of birds in the meta.
Oh, he needs to name one after the bird, like John Oliver adopted a couple years ago.
I don't know which one that is. I was gonna say that like I love it. 20 years from now, they're gonna like every color is gonna be named like after a bird, and people are gonna be like, why are these all bird names? And shout out to Dan and Lily, who's working on a Lorcana documentary. Like tag this moment as the moment it all began. Kiwi Birds. Yeah. So, so you said you're a Sapphire Steel player. You're still doing it. You're still playing it even after the Fortisphere Hiram ban. You took down a set champ with this deck here. Did you not?
Yeah. So we, again after the ban happened, I was kind of excited because it meant I could play like some of the dual link cards that we got for Sapphire Steel, and I was like, oh, there's like loads of fun cards, but there was no point playing them because the item Sapphire Steel deck was so good. And then I got to play those dual link cards and realized they weren't very good. And I was like, well, that was a short-lived dream of mine.
Wait a second, there aren't any in this deck.
There is none. Yeah, we like Lady Cluck and like the Jasmine card and Mulan. I don't think they were dual link, but I was like, oh, they seem kind of fun. The Aladdin lets you play 3-cost allies for free. I was like, oh, these cards feel great. And then I played them and they didn't. So yeah, I ran a Ruby Amethyst list for like the store champs the day before, and then I saw Justin, like I say, the man who made Kiwi Birds, won, and I was like, I'm just gonna guess what he did because he was asleep at the time. Because yeah, right now I should be asleep as well. So I just like guessed what he did and I got it right, and then we ran it, and we didn't drop a game for like the entire day, and then I was even like doing friendlies just to see if I could drop a game, and it was running so well. I don't know why this deck works for me, and I don't know why it works for Justin. It's like 1% of the meta at best, the Sapphire Steel deck is, but I think it's quite good. It still seems to get me results. We took it to the Ravensburg Germany event, and we got top 64 of it as well. And I was just trying to prove to myself that the deck could work in a 2-game format because it's quite an aggro deck. It wins on the play very consistently. But I was like, if this can't win in 2-game format, I probably don't want to play it.
Hmm.
But you know, I'm quite impressed by it, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, Franz, do you have any question about this list? I like it. It seems pretty tight.
Well, I've played Kiwi on the side ever since I first saw it because I love Alice. I actually before
Alice is a menace.
before Set 7 released, I was it was like in the top 2 or 3 decks that I was planning on taking to 2 major events I had at the end of Set 6. So I did a ton of calculations and math on finding Alice on turn 3. And when I saw Mulan, the 1-drop get revealed, I was super excited to play it with Bell and Popsicle and Fortisphere because it jumped to like nearly 80% of the time I was finding Alice on 3 if I sent 7 or kept a cycle in the opening hand. So with that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start with this and then send it, and then the ban happened, and I was like, oh well, that's rough. No more Fortisphere. But hey, I love Alice. I love all of these steel cards. I love playing Calhoun. I love the John Silver, the Challenger, as well as Pete and Pluto. Those are all just like really favorite cards of mine. So any deck that plays them and plays on curve like this, I think I just love. So I have no notes for this. I don't think Harlan even needs notes on this. It's a great list. I love it. I would play this list in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I like Alice has become even when it was released before like the list got created, I was trying to run it in like more classic Sapphire Steel ramp decks because it was like, oh, I could put Ward on Tamatella or something. This would be awesome. But the most fun I'm having Lorcana right now is like play against a green steel player and they set up their Ursulas and Prince Johns to sing and discard you, and all you do is play Alice, Pluto, and Cogsworth. You have no cards in hand, but everything on board has resist, and it's questing for a lot, and it has ward, it has ward as well.
Yeah, you're breaking like 12 cards in their deck in Storm, Strength, and like Bruno. So just being able to do that and turn off like some of the best cards in their deck, especially with Ursula on field, is just fantastic. It was super frustrating when I was testing against this in Set 6, and I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure especially with Chenpo and Robin Hood, it doesn't feel much better.
Yeah, it's just exactly what I know and sort of stuck with, and it seems to be, I'll probably play it until it gets rotated out, or if it gets rotated out.
Yeah. What is that? Is Alice Set 5 or 6?
It was the previous set, so I think it is Set 6.
Set 6, yeah. Is there one question? So, I mean, resist obviously very effective against damage-based removal. A lot of steel running around it now, but Ruby Amethyst is starting to see a little bit more light, or a lot more life, like the last few weeks. We see it running around in set champs. And how do you feel into that matchup with Ruby's just straight up, removal?
Yeah, I'd say like not the weakness, but like the way you can sort of beat this deck is to use the Fox and the Crab from purple. If you can use it effectively, like if you were to play Alice Pluto out and they have, say, a Chernobog on board and they play a Crab and buff it and take out the Pluto, like that's just rough because they've used a 1-drop to kill your 4-drop. And like those spots can be good. I tend to find the player needs to know the matchup and needs to know what they're doing for that to work out. I never really struggled into Ruby Amethyst. In Germany, my top 64 game was against one of the 2 brothers that kind of made that Ruby Amethyst shark list, the Peter Pan. And I was like, oh, I'm probably going to lose this. and then in our game, I missed 1-drop and 2-drop and sent full 7 and still missed it. And I was like, no, I definitely lose this. If I lose this makes sense. Like, it's completely fine. We still had a fairly good game. I think as well, it's like, I always love aggro decks. I just love playing. I play a lot of One Piece and other card games, and I just always go for the quickest deck. And I think you get handed so many free wins with aggro decks. Like there are just some other decks that don't respect it. They're just very good matchups for you. And then you've got things like Ruby Amethyst where you have to really think about it. Like, right, I need to make sure that if they play Maui on 5, the only thing they can do is it will just be banished directly from the Pluto. So I have to make sure their board is thin. I have to use strength correctly. I have to quest with my SME so they trade with it. And it can be done. It can be won. It's one of the harder matchups, yeah. And once they get to be prepared, you have to be thinking I have to use my Peats correctly. Maybe I want to put some manas down afterwards. It's probably the matchup you want to go and practice with if you do want to play this deck.
Interesting. Well, definitely. I mean, it's been around for a bit, and I don't know. My other fun observation is I love Googly's tweet. It's a steel, sapphire deck. There's only 12 sapphire cards in here.
Yeah.
I mean, those 12 cards are lifting, man.
Yeah.
Those cards are lifting.
We had a Baymax, and I put Wendy Darling in my content creator store champs and my Germany list. And I think I was just generally trying to buff the sapphire numbers at some point because like so many people were just joking it's a steel deck with like a couple sapphire cards. And I was like, I just don't like this joke anymore. So I'm just gonna put some like random sapphire cards in here. But yeah, I think the Alice and the Cogsworth by themselves being this like ward resist combo is enough to carry the deck. And I'm pretty sure every color in the game would like to have McDuck Mana in their it is just so good. It's always
good.
that they clear board, you put them down. Finding 9 direct rush damage is very hard for most decks.
Yeah,
So
I think if McDuck Manor was in every color, Be Prepared might be a bad card.
yeah. It's just such 9 is such a weirdly obscure number. It's so high. I don't really understand it. And yeah, it's like your opponent would have to know that you have that card, and they'd have to play like a Maui and a Crab. And and the Kiwi Bird deck sort of fell out a little bit of meta. Like it's always been around. When I first played it and I got it to the EU Continentals, like everyone was reading my cards about every 2 seconds. They were like, and what does Alice do? Oh, and you get 1 extra lore as well. And but those days sort of gone. Yeah. Those days are sort of gone.
Everything for 2. What am I doing here?
Yeah. I did have a Steel Song player in Germany. I think he was like French or something, and like every 2 minutes he goes, so everything has ward. I was like, yes, everything has ward. And then I top deck Wendy Darling played it, and he went, and that has ward as well. And his hand was just like Zeus, let the storm, everything.
Yeah, in my early testing, I was playing with Wendy Darling and Duke Weaselton as well. Just I love the early 2 lore wards too. Those are always fun to use.
Yeah, I think there's a thing of like Lorcana where like Sapphire is the ramp color, and it's just so powerful at doing that. But like every color in the game tries to aim to do a few things. So like Sapphire's also got like a ton of ward. It's another one of its aspects. So like ward, ramp, and I think it's like kind of the itemy color as well. But it's just like using those other aspects of the color, I think work really well in the deck.
So funny. Well, congrats on your win. I love showing it. I love that Blue Steel is still around. I think RMB is still sad because I don't think he likes this version as much. But
it doesn't have a crab in it.
It doesn't have a crab. It doesn't have a Tematoa. But
crab.
But yeah.
He seemed quite excited because I messaged him a couple times, and I think he was going to play it at one point. And then I think he went to Green Steel for the 10K.
He did.
Yeah, and then I think Justin actually beat him with his deck.
No.
I don't know how he felt about that at all. And then of course, Justin
he was ecstatic. He was very happy about it, for at least from what I saw.
He betrayed his core ink colors.
Yeah, I think Justin's a good friend though, so that is kind of funny.
Yeah, I think, and anyone who's like. I get a lot of people who are like, I really like Sapphire Steel. I don't play it anymore. And I completely understand. A lot of them have gone to like Blurple or Ruby Sapphire. A lot of people just love ramping. And that was like the big part of the color combo. So I get it if you're playing something else right now.
Listen, man, people just wanted to play Hiram and draw 50 cards. Like, let's be honest. They just wanted to do that. They wanted 8 popsicles. That's what they wanted to do with their lives. And they don't want to do anything else. Like
I had a really interesting interaction. I was on Ruby Amethyst, and they were on the sort of DKP Ruby Sapphire list, and I was just resourcing them out. I had like 12 cards in hand, and he had about 3, and he just got really angry. He went, look around the room. Why did they ban my card? I've got 3 cards in hand. All these purple decks have about 12. Like I can't draw any cards. But yeah,
funny. All right. Before we do that, you want to do that one first?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Franz, we're going to let you deck in a second. One deck we want to highlight. We always love highlighting our local community because we're in Austin and we love Austin. So this deck was a fun one. Shout out to Jeff. I remember back like 2 years ago when Jeff was going to go play in the PPG event in Houston, which at the time was the biggest Lorcana tournament. Brand new Lorcana player, biggest tournament he ever played in, and now here he is topping a set champ. In Austin against some awesome players. I think he had to go through Aaron Rubin to win this, and some other awesome players. So I wanted to show this not only to highlight Jeff's achievement, but also because Franz, look,
it's an Amethyst Emerald deck.
It's an Amethyst Emerald deck.
I'm a man after my own heart. I played an Emerald Amethyst tempo in Atlanta and Nationals, and man, I love me some Go-Go. I love me some Curse Merfolk. I love bouncing the Curse Merfolk. I love purple, and just everything about this list is hilarious. The Emerald Chromacon is extremely hilarious. This is another one of those cards where whenever you play it, your opponent has to keep checking it every single turn to make sure it does exactly what it does. They're like, so it's on your turn or my turn? So it's on your turn or my turn? And like Goofy as well. It gives it ward. It has ward. Just everything in this list is just cards that I love to play. It's great, man. I think it resembles Mo's list from Llama a lot as well.
Yep.
And it's gone into the newish trend. I'm not sure if it's new anymore, of the Peter Pan Iago Genie Wars. I'm not necessarily sure if I call it Genie Wars anymore. I think I call it Evasive Wars, where it's just Amethyst decks throwing evasives at each other, throwing rush evasive characters at each other, and just throwing damage at each other as well with Bell. I love it. I love this deck. It's fantastic. It's super fun. I'm worried about purple though.
I absolutely love the name of this deck.
Berries and kale. I love it.
Yeah. Also, not many new cards in here. I think was that Iago like the only.
That's what I was looking for. Iago is the only thing that I recognize that's from the newer sets.
Yeah, it's just Iago.
That's so funny.
Iago is the only new card, but the pan is just a new part of the package with Iago. So I would say that's probably a new card since that wasn't played before.
Yeah. Harlan, what do you think about Emerald Amethyst in the current meta, particularly like this style of it?
Yeah, I quite. There's always this like weird joke. I don't know, guys. Like in the US, that you guys all play Green Steel, and in Europe we all play Emerald Amethyst.
It's true.
Yeah, because I guess like Artifacts maybe has some like influence or something, but that seems to be. I don't think that's the case, but it's always the funny joke, and I do really like the deck. It is strange how like after the ban we don't really see a lot of the set 7 cards. I think Iago, like you say, is the only one in there, and that card I really find a menace because it's like I was playing Ruby Amethyst the other day. I was like, I just don't want to respect Iago. I play against it about 4 times, and it's like, do I really want to tech in some really bad cards to defeat it? No. And then if you're playing Steel, you beat it. And with the Peter Pan combo, it's just amazing. So it was really awesome to see like the Vanish cards get played, because I kind of like that idea. I guess it doesn't really competitively work with the like Jafar stuff, but like seeing one of the cards actually stick around is great. And yeah, it's strange. It's like the set 7 meta is like older cards coming back in, like Peter Pan, which like is an amazing card. Like you can rush it in to start deal with aggro stuff, or you can just get the payoff when you play the Genie or the Iago. So yeah, and the Goofy, it's pretty much just Green Alice.
Yeah.
So I really like that card as well. Like I looked at that card for so much, and I tried to pair like Sapphire and Green and like build decks with it. So yeah, I really like that card.
Just curve Alice into something into Goofy. Just have double Alice. It's so funny.
What are y'all like? So what's with all of these 1-ups? So we've got like a Belle, the Goofy,
So specifically with Belle, even towards last set, Belle was starting to trend towards like 0 to 1-of, especially in purple with the bounce. We're essentially using 1-ofs as a toolbox, like slight engine, especially if it's an inkable card. Because we can reuse the ETB effect very easily with the bounce cards, and if we don't need them for very specific matchups, we can very easily ink them. and that's pretty much it. Like you're typically saving them for cards that you don't need for every matchup, but in the matchups where they're good, they're game winning. So like Goofy here and Ursula, like Ursula's game winning into Steel Song as soon as when you play it. Goofy's game winning into most things with like really that are focusing on really targeted removal, and into other stuff where they're not as good, like Ursula into an aggro deck. You just ink it and not really care about it. Mm-hmm. And for Belle specifically, you can just reuse it a million times with the bounce effects.
Mm-hmm.
And for a card like that Goofy, if you were to play that sort of competitively in a Swiss event, I think you'd be playing and your opponent might be thinking every meta card they can think of, every build, and they just play a Goofy and like quest for 3 next turn, and they haven't played around it. And like sometimes just like a spice card like that really does you favors in Swiss. Of course, if you do that open deck lists, it doesn't help as much. But like for me in Swiss, I just put in like, so I was using Baymax for a while. I was like, just no one was playing around, and I heal my Smee for game or whatever.
And the Chromacon one of is probably just because it's uninkable, and that's it. It's uninkable. So you don't want to be caught in a tempo deck like this where you're generally trying to curve out and play one character up until like turn 4 or 5, and then you're trying to play 2 characters. If you're clogging up your deck with too many uninkable cards that don't have much utility, it starts to really mess with the consistency of that. So.
All right. Speaking of, Harlan, you joked about all of us over here playing Green Steel. It's true.
Franz, the dark side.
It's true. Yeah, we love Green Steel over here. Franz, you took down. So you didn't. Well, you sort of won. You split a top 2. I think.
Sort of won.
Yeah. So I split finals. There were no playmats harmed in that split. The prizing was actually,
you didn't break out the scissors.
No, we didn't break out the scissors.
You didn't you didn't split the playmat like this team here.
Oh gosh,
man.
4-way split here. Yeah, we should talk about it, but 4-way split here. They split the top 4, and rather than play for the playmat, why not just everybody take a piece of it?
Yeah, just get a little mouse.
I love this, by the way. This is so funny.
Spectacular.
Yeah. There we go. Let's make it a little bigger here.
Sorry. There's nothing like just completely destroying your investment, like cutting it.
I love it.
I hope the player who like if they played it out to like to see who got first place, I hope the one who got first got the one with the champion.
The champion, the Buzz Lightyear guy.
Yeah,
right.
I 1000% use this as my like mouse pad.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way,
That would be so cool.
It's so funny. I think these were all like teammates, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. So from what I was told, these are either really good friends or teammates that made it to top 4. And they all agreed that this was the funniest thing possible to do, so they did it. And every single one of these people agreed to do this.
100%. Well, we applaud it out there.
yeah.
And we're talking about it here. So 100%. All right. Here you are, just being the villain, Franz. I hate this card so much.
So you played Emerald
Franz is the
Steel,
bad guy.
Always.
and that's an Emerald Steel deck right there.
That's sure. The big old slap the card. This is an Emerald Steel deck right here. Yeah, I've been testing variants of Emerald Steel for a while this set. I don't have any huge tournaments, so I didn't really have any reason to branch out off of what I was really comfortable with. But this set championship was pretty crazy pricing wise. They added a 2-case pricing on top of the set championship, so we split 2 cases between top 8. And first place was a full case. Second place was 2 boxes. So after me and this girl got to finals, I sat down. I was like, "Hey, I have a proposal. I will take the case plus an extra box, and you can take the mat, and we can go home." I said that because I didn't expect her to say yes to that first one, and then so I could walk it back. It was like, "I'll just take the case if you want the second box." But to my surprise, she took the first deal, and I walked away with 5 boxes, including a sealed case.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it seems like a worthwhile split.
Yeah. And she was very happy with it. This is actually someone that I've played multiple times locally, It was actually pretty tragic the last time because we were both in the final round of a 6-case tournament locally, and we were both X1, but I was the lowest rated X1, so I could not ID safely. So I told her, I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but we have to play." And this time we also met in the last round of Swiss, and I said, "This time I can ID." So we ID, and then we met in finals. And then we did that. It was great. She's really cool. I love playing against her. She's always a good time. But yeah, this is a very simple Emerald Steel deck. We're playing we're leaning really heavily into the Shift Diablo package on 2, playing all these actions. Every single action in here serves a purpose to either remove my opponent's hand or keep my bird on field or remove stuff from my opponent's board. And with the morph package, we're able to play Beast and Pete. Pete essentially almost single-handedly winning the Steel Song matchup, and Beast just being able to break parity really easily. And then there's just really broken cards like Prince John, Ursula, Pete, and Muses, and in combination, all those cards are just fantastic. Like most of the games that were won this weekend with this deck were pretty landslidey. There wasn't much really close games besides my quarterfinals match with Mr. Dick Burns. That went 3 games and they were all very close. But yeah, I really wouldn't change anything right now. Pluto was very good. I think I'd like to have a second one if I can. 2 Mulan was fantastic all weekend. If I could move up to 61 cards just to put a Pluto in and not affect the ratios that much, I would. Shout out to Braden Bowdish for telling me to stop playing around with stupid cards and playing this list. Because I was messing around with a lot of like shift packages where I was playing like 2 Beast, 3 Pete, 1 Tinkerbell, 1 Clarabelle, and I was being too cute with it. And Braden was like, "No, just play this," and I did very well.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Braden in the chat. So yeah. No, it's a great deck, and it occurs to me that not much new here either. I mean, Space Pirate Pete building on that incredible Pete we have in the 3 slot. So
yeah, that adds so much game. I think a huge thing that Green Steel was missing in the past was just a big dude to place on the board in the mid game. And that's kind of why Green Steel at the end of set 6 was.
You've had Beast forever. Like, get out of
here. That's a dude that stands and doesn't want to turn sideways ever.
Yeah, I suppose.
But like that's why like during set 6, Green Steel kind of moved lower to the ground and played with Calhouns and Shmees and Docs and like started bouncing those Doxes so we could do more things in the early game to get an incremental lore lead. But now that we have Pete and now that we're like adding Pluto back in, we just have things to do in that mid game besides set up Diablo, set up Prince John, discard your hand. Now we just also have Pete to have a dude to force them to answer it. So I think that's a very impactful card. Just because it's a 2 of in this deck, I think understates how impactful it is in the deck. Yeah.
Harlan, how do you think? I mean, you all don't play Green Steel in Europe, like we know that already. But if you did, how do you think this is positioned?
I mean, it's the joke, but we have some Green Steel players. We have one from Germany. His name's Dizan, and I think he got his Worlds invite playing Green Steel. And before the ban, I saw him at an event in Axion and played him. And like he loved Space Pirate Pete, but at the time, of course, it just all died to Sisu. Or banished, sorry, to CC. So it was like not very good. And now post ban, it's like, yeah, I think we might even look at like set 7 Space Pirate Pete as just like one of the best additions to a current deck. I picked up Steel Song like just because I play a lot of Lorcana, so I learn a lot of decks. And that matchup is it was horrible before. It was very like close and dicey. But now it's like they play it on 3, they shift it on 4, turn it. And unless you have World's Greatest Criminal Mind in hand,
or Sven,
I
love Sven.
You can Sven stand it up, then sing and remove it, and it also doesn't get its resist. Oh no, you can't. I can't remember Space Pirate Pete's, but it won't get that resist.
It won't get a resist. It does give its resist to itself.
Yes, that card's and as you say, like even in the other matchups where you're not worried too much about the singing aspect, it's just like here's a big body that's going to start trading up or like just be a nuisance on the board. and if it's not being a nuisance, it's questing for 2. But of course, like there is just so much hate for the bird right now.
Yeah.
Like I think Pluto is a great addition. And I'm still here. I'm surprised like not many other green steel players are playing that.
That card saved. Those 2 cards in my deck gave my Diablo over the course of the weekend probably an extra 5 to 7 turns of being on the field. Like just being able to play it and before Ruby Amethyst turn 3, before any Amethyst turn 3, just being able to sing it and blank a Peter Pan, or later to blank an Elsa was huge all day. It was insane. God, that card's crazy, and I will continue to say that card's crazy.
I remember there was a lot of like Blurple players I saw joking because like they have a lot of answers for Diablo, but if you were to play I'm Still Here, you'd cut off the genie, you'd cut off like the Elsa, like you just get, like you say, you get another turn, and then maybe like a way to set up so you couldn't remove the bird. And it was just like they were all just laughing. They're like, why do they not play this card that easily counters like a bunch of the Amethyst answers? But yeah, I think the list's pretty cool as well. I'm surprised as well. Like I noticed a lot of them go down to 3 Prince Johns. I don't know the ins and outs of like deck building for green steel that much. Like I would just 4x all the cards that I thought I'd need in there.
It's all about like the space and the concession on the number of actions for the Diablo shift to consistently get the. So it's not about finding the action in the mulligan. It's about being able to keep the big Diablo and mulligan everything else and still being able to consistently get actions in your hand. And that's only been happening with like 18 to 20. And I don't think I would ever go below 18, but I think like 19 or 20 is where I'm very comfortable at. Similar thing with like Cove. Cove is just like Cove and Muses have both been like 2 ofs because I want to see them every game, and I'm consistently going through half my deck every game. So being able to see one of those in a game I think is important. Otherwise, the deck gets super tight super fast. It's like what I was saying earlier when I was doing like 2 Beast, 2 to 3 Pete, and then like 1 Tank, 1 Clarabelle. It just got so tight. It started to break down the actual idea of the deck and lose consistency. So it's just a very basic build. I'm sure people could find cuts where they want. I don't think I would try to cut anything right now unless I was trying to add a second Pluto.
No, I think Cove is like one of them cards that I'm going to complain to get banned at some point. Like it's just like before, like Green Steel were playing Calhoun's, and it was like move a Calhoun. Like Calhoun's annoying. Move her to the Cove, and she's even like way worse.
4/3 Calhoun, yeah.
And there's even like little things like if they play a 2-cost Ursula, okay, it's not bad against like the Kiwi deck, but you move her to the Cove, and now she's like the perfect thing to remove a Smee. Yep. It's like it's just you always have to take it out because the trades from then on out are so much better. It's like I say, Space Pirate Pete is annoying. A 6/6 Space Pirate Pete is just unstoppable. So I always have to take it out, and it like a lot of the good Green Steel players just sometimes throw the Cove down like just maybe turn 1 or so, just because they know I'm going to have to take it out.
Yeah. There was
all the trades are better.
Yeah, there was actually a point in my game with Dick Burns where I was doing my best to play around Rapunzel traps. So I had to take like 2 poor trades with Rapunzel with Ursula's into like Shmees and then move a Pete to the Cove. So he couldn't get a trade with a small Ursula. And there was also another point where the board state was stalled, and I threw down the Cove to force him to challenge the Cove. There were multiple times where I just put it down to force people to turn stuff sideways. It just turned into like a 1-cost delayed action that says exert 3 of your opponent's cards.
Brutal.
Yeah, I've seen like Dale and like loads of others do that as well, because you know that on the snapback it's just going to be so much value with things in the Cove.
Yeah. Cove is it's funny. It changes the math and the number commentating tournaments. And Brandon, I'm sure you're the same. Like the number of times we've seen players like forget about Cove and the stat differences, like running things in and losing them, or like forgetting about the extra willpower and running things into characters and then realizing, oh wait, that didn't remove it. Happens all the time. It just changes math.
It's like the cards like Cogsworth and Kiwi and like Hidden Cove and Green Steel, like they both just do that where it makes your opponent have to think a little bit harder and a little bit longer about their decisions. Cause yeah, there's been plenty of times where I've played both of those cards and I have to correct my opponent, at locals or whatever, and be like, oh, sorry, that doesn't trade the way you thought it did.
And now the space pirate too.
Yeah, that's true with the new Pete.
So many times you'll have someone run something in and they think they're going to take a trade with Cogsworth, and you're just moving dice and place it down. And it takes them like 2 or 3 minutes to figure out what's actually happened here. And then they kind of look left and right and go, what's going on? Oh, it's Cogsworth.
It's that look of like confusion and then madness and then upset and then acceptance and
resignation,
like pure depression.
And it's like a local league, like I'm fine. I'd be like, we'll just redo it. It's league, I don't mind. But if it's like a bigger event, they've already like put the character in the discard. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but you had time to look at the board. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I've seen it happen in the top 64 challenges. Like it. All right. So yeah, if you're looking for a good stream list, this one's tight. There you go. Shout out to Franz and Braden for this. All right, y'all, we have like 5 minutes left because we got stuff to do tonight and we got another stream to prep for tomorrow. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to jam through some real quick, some props to some people for some other decks. We're going to hit them quick. And the purpose is, if you all are looking for decks to play at Set Championships and you haven't quite settled yet, I'm going to show you some that have won Set Champs. And you can go follow those folks if you like. And if you all, Franz, Brennan, and Harlan, if you all have any thoughts on these and you want to share them, go ahead. But make them quick because this is quick hit time. So shout out to Terrace, who's still making Ruby Amethyst work, dropping 0 games, straightforward evasive list. This list is tight. It's back. It's everywhere. It's annoying.
Sure is a shark list.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. That's our Green Steel European player. That's the one Green Steel player.
Birds. And look at that. He's not on Green Steel.
And he's not on Green Steel this time. No, that's my boy. But he's on a different discard deck.
Yeah, this deck's fascinating me. We talked about
this deck.
It's the Amethyst package built in with the Emerald portion of the Emerald Steel discard deck. And it's like 2 decks smashed into one. And apparently it's good because
a lot of Diablos.
Amazing player.
There's Diablos everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it from Harlan. Amazing player here. We've seen him before, so there he is.
Yeah, lovely.
And here's his handle on the Twitters if you want to follow him. Another great player to follow. Here we have Franz. There's his picture. We looked at that. Old reliable. Harlan with Kiwi
Harlan.
Birdie. A version of that deck. I think this is the one we showed.
Yeah, this is just
like it.
list again.
Just named properly this time.
Yes.
Ink drying here. Another. This one's slightly bigger, not quite as tight. But interestingly, he said both one-offs helped me clinch the finals against discard. We see some one-offs here with quiet Diablo.
It's just Diablo likes to have moments after it's back on the shelf.
It's a menace. It's a menace.
And yes, we know it's not officially Diablo, but shh.
Yeah, it's official Disney merch, but
I love Dragonfire in these lists. 100% endorse that.
One of?
1 or 2. I think either's fine.
All right. Well, there we go. There's making a difference there. And of course, Luke Wonderland.
Oh my god.
Not the Halfin, no.
Look at all the one ofs in this deck.
So many of them.
Gosh.
Me.
What was he doing?
One
No,
off.
this is the Halfin challenge.
Lorcana deck list challenge. I think it's 25 unique cards.
I think it's either 24 or 25. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which one.
Well, here he is. So you can take this seriously or not take it this seriously, but here it is.
The 4 ofs are the important cards in the deck. Like
Yeah.
it's Cindy, Ariel, Pete, Rapunzel, and the Steel Songs, and you're fine. Anything else you can do whatever.
And just
That's
know
so
this
funny.
is Wonder playing this deck, so just
You
know that it's piloted by like
Here's another one as well.
Another
Halfin,
list, yeah.
There it is. Yeah, that's a lot of one ofs, but a lot of cards that we're familiar with. Any surprise? Oh, what's that? What's Gyro there?
Yeah,
Didn't
that
Yeah.
I looked at this. I looked at this for so long this set. Every single time that I looked at it, I was like, it's just not enough. It's got
This is a player I test with sometimes, and he loves that card, and it does quite well. I won't lie. It's very interesting.
It's always a card that I'm like always on the cusp of being like, I want to play 2 to 3 of these.
That's so funny. Well, here it is, another Huff and Challenge deck. Here we go. Laxian, shout out to you, winning again. Ruby Amethyst list. Shouting out Candlestick though. That's the Lumiere down there. I've seen a couple players shout this card out as being particularly impactful for them this meta. Some people refer to him as Candle Boy.
Yeah, Lumiere with extra rush feels very good. Making Genie a 3/4, making Iago a 5/6 is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people. This is not the only person I've seen shout this card out. So there we go. Riplungs, Stronghold Games in Donna, Texas, doing a version, a Kiwi-ish version here, but no, we have the Tamatoa, Scrooge McDuck. So
it's pretty good, and he's stuck with the. I didn't really think the bell was that consistent turn one without the Vortisphere. But of course, still, if you get it, it's amazing. Like, you know, it's a 3/3 on turn one that can sing songs. So I cut it, but yeah, it's good. And I think you could use the Tamatoa there as well. Also, as a body, and he quest for 2.
Yeah,
kind of needs to be answered. Like, it's not bad. Like, yeah, I quite like the whole thing. More card draw as well.
I think everything's fine besides 3 Alice. I think 3 Alice is a sin.
Yeah, especially when you have 4 Pluto, you're kind of like, want to do that combo, so why not do it?
Yeah, interesting. Good note. All right, and here are the Inkcast. First place at our event yesterday. Wasn't sure about the list, but got the job done. Fairly good. We can see the Aerial Sonic Warrior. Yeah,
people have been really trying to play that card a lot lately. This is a very, very top end character heavy list. I'd worry about early game consistency, but hey, oh, this is just not discard. Okay. This is like damage control. Never mind.
There's fine. So many of these cards like Sonic Warrior and like Robin Hood's, like I'm playing again, is very popular, but we just need all the Ruby Amethyst players to bring Medusa back. Just in very strong waves, and all of these like like Sonic Warrior kind of only survives, I think, when Medusa. Not really. I mean, she's still a good card, but like Medusa would very much drop her play percentage down.
But I like my big issue with Sonic Warrior is that even on its shift, like you're not taking full advantage of its ability on turn 4. So like you're shifting it, saying something, and then you're not able to shoot something. Like it takes like a full turn after shifting. So you're essentially just like upgrading an aerial for a single turn to do not much. But
I kept the big Cindy's over the Sonic Warriors because I just 100%, find, as you say,
100%.
Yeah, I find it quite expensive. I mean, to be fair, it won't be removed by a rush character when it's turned sideways if it has 8 health. But yeah, I want to use everything on the card. Like otherwise, I'll just play something else.
Yeah. Good news there, and shout out to the Incast here. Another fantastic channel you should follow. But coming back from a 1-1 split and an 0-2 to then 2-0 the rest of the tournament.
Oh, wow.
And,
crazy.
Take it out. So shout out there. Zero here we have our first Amethyst Steel deck that's been around, but it's Jafar Wheel. This is back, kind of inspired by Zan crushing hearts and dreams at the Drama tournament. So Zero here doing some work there. We know this deck. It's mean. And then here we go. Almost. I assume that's top 2. But yeah, I have seen people. Actually, somebody else. I forget. It was Illumicor Lynn's actually worked the Sapphire Mufasa in her Blurple build and said this did some work for her.
There was a Ruby Sapphire player at my tournament who untapped with 2 of these on the field at one point. that turn took 7 minutes.
God,
these like DKP sort of Ruby Sapphire Shark list are so like everyone knows it's Shark and the manners, and like they're kind of this point where we're just gonna put fun cards and tech cards in here. Like you're not expecting a Hades or like a Mufasa, and it was like someone told me they put Baymax in, so it's like hit with the Shark then play Baymax.
That's crazy. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's like you just got to break the mirror somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. And good explanation. And that's why Mufasa, I've seen some play. Here we have another Broker list. This one's pretty tight with just the one of Crab. But it's... I
hate one of Crab. I hate that. I hate that so much. Crab is just not a card that I would want as a one of. I almost never want to go below 3 Crab. It's such a good utility card into every single matchup.
Yeah, especially a lot of manners running around now. High willpower characters. Here we go. Top 2 Alfreda Games. Nathan Mortland. Wow, a lot of people responded here. Another Emerald Amethyst list. It is pretty
It's
similar.
super tight. Yeah.
Super tight. But shout out to Lyle. I always
Lyle,
love Lyle. Is such a good card, especially with an aggro-ish meta. Love him.
Shout out Mother Milk.
Blurple, I can't really see the list. So shout out to Joshua.
Josh's list is super tight.
Oh God, now I'm gonna see. Look, here's the problem. It's sideways.
I love this list. This is the list I would play tomorrow if I was playing Blurple.
Okay. Shout out to Joshua. Here, look, if you're gonna play Blurple, take a note from Franz. Check out Joshua's list. It's here.
Rotate that picture.
Rotate that picture. And yeah. All right. So those are our shout outs. Woo!
Go team.
Go team. But if you like almost any deck, except we didn't see any Turner Dogs, I guess. If there's any particular color pairing you like, there's a deck there that won a set champ or at least finished in the top 2 that you can emulate.
Yeah,
go check it out.
Yeah, there's like 15 decks you guys can play. You're fine.
Yep.
With that, we're gonna start closing this down. Brandon, what did we miss?
Only thing, do we want to show the clip that you set up, or are we just trying to get out of here?
I think I'm gonna use that as the sign off this week.
Okay.
I think we're gonna set it up.
That's the only thing I could think of.
The best clip in Lorcana.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Cinema.
Friends knows exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, we'll set this up and we'll use that as the play out. So don't go anywhere, everyone. You're gonna see the best clip in Lorcana. And it's not me one-shotting an Uncrustable, although that
that also happened this week.
Oh, wait,
Next week. No.
JD Quest shoving in Uncrustable is top 2, and I'm not sure. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I do have to ask, as a European, I don't know what an Uncrustable is. I've never
You know
heard
what?
of that treat before.
Harlan, I didn't know what an Uncrustable was until about 4 nights ago either, so you're not alone.
Never heard of this thing.
So you
It's
take
like a-
peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Do you know what a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is, first of all?
I've heard of these as well. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they cut the crust off.
Yeah.
And then they put it in a little machine to like squish the pieces of bread together so they kind of like stick together. So it's like a little
Think of like a meat pie, but it's not cooked.
peanut
It's
butter and
soft,
jelly.
and it's just a
It
peanut
sounds
butter and jelly.
delicious.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It's so good.
Yes.
the ones I bought were peanut butter and honey, and they're pretty darn good.
It sounds like a very good event snack. Yeah.
It is. It
Mhm.
is absolutely.
Yeah. It became a whole thing to like one-shot them on stream over here.
You come to the US next,
Yes,
Harlan.
Harlan.
We will get you an Uncrustable. And
Yeah,
you can-
I did Seattle last year, and I'd love to come back for if we get a DLC
Heck
again.
yeah.
Yes. We'd love to, because Seattle's the one tournament I missed. So
Oh.
ships passing in the night. And before we sign off, Tiny Tomato, I missed your question. The Haufen Challenge, as you all described it, correct me if I'm wrong, 25 unique cards in a list.
Yep. And then if you win a set championships, you post the list to Lorcana deck list, and you get entered into a raffle to win a 2nd gen D23 Brave Little Taylor Mickey, the one that came in the newer set with the card from all 6 sets.
Mhm.
We need to do a challenge like that. Man, that's fun. A PB&G bread pastry.
Tasty. Yeah. Exactly that.
There we go.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yes. One Brit to another. There you go.
All right. So with that, Brandon, I think the only thing we have to do before we turn it over to Franz and Harlan to kind of tell how people can follow them is say tomorrow, everybody tune into the Robinsburger live stream tomorrow morning. I think is it a 9?
Yeah, I think it's
9
Pacific.
PST. Yep.
Yeah, 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern. I don't know what that is for the people across the pond.
Somewhere in the middle for you guys in the middle.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Should be plenty of news coming out there. It'd be very exciting. And then if you're interested in our thoughts, or if you missed that stream and want kind of a recap, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll be doing another stream.
8 o'clock Central.
8 o'clock Central with Brendan and Rebecca will be tuning in, and a bunch of other amazing creators. Villain's going to be tuning in joining us from, again, Dark 30 and some other awesome creators. So check us out tomorrow at 8 o'clock. With that, I'll start with Harlan. What do you have coming up, and how can people follow you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I always forget to say at least once. I have a YouTube channel, and yeah, it'll just be lots of Sapphire Steel content coming out. I've also got my partner Ali. She vlogs all of the events we go to, so definitely worth checking out her channel. It's quite fun for me to watch back and see all the ridiculous things I say. And then
too, also up with us. So shout out to
I didn't
Ali.
know that. That's precious.
yeah, they're really sweet to watch back, and it's good memories for us as well. But yeah, and on the Metafy as well, like as always, one thing I mention is I do a charity like subscription tier where it's just like the same old Metafy stuff, and it's like $1.50, and then I just donate the earnings to a different charity every month. And we did one for like mental health, and then we've done one for like trans rights and stuff like that. And we just pick a charity every month, and it's like a nice thing we do. But yeah, besides that, just classic me banging on about Sapphire Steel.
Love it.
That's awesome. And love Sapphire Steel. Or at least seeing what you're doing with it, because for those that follow, Harlan really sets a lot of the trends in Sapphire Steel, at least in the kind of the mid-range Kiwi build, with folks like RMB, who was in the chat earlier. Franz, how can people follow you?
You can find me talking my head off about everything that I care about over on site formerly known as Twitter, and on YouTube, Traverse Tavern, where every other Wednesday Braden and I are streaming, and we'll talk about the happenings of the week. This week we get to do it directly after a day after the stream, so that'd be fun. Come hang out and watch two uber competitive posters talk about everything that happens over there.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much, Brandon. Aaron, anything I missed?
No, we'll see you
Not that I can
tomorrow,
think of.
everybody.
Yeah, come back tomorrow, 8:00.
Yapping.
All right. Anybody else? Anyone want to set up this clip before we play it to play people off? I can
enjoy it. It's glorious.
With the context of the clip it is a Ruby Sapphire player versus a Steel Song player. You'll see who they are when the clip comes up. The Steel Song player has to find has exactly, I think, 14 cards in deck, and finds one whole new world, needs to find the other to take a game off of his opponent. And so I think that's enough to send it off.
All right, let's do it. See y'all tomorrow. Oh, that's not it.
All right, yeah, because he was at 11, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, yeah, he was at 11 plus 9. No, he was at, what was, I don't even know.
So 3, so hold on, we've got 3, so 9.
It may not even matter. Yeah,
all right, we're doing one card at a time.
If we see a wheel, is this a wheel? No, is this a wheel?
One,
give me the wheel. Oh, no, don't freeze.
No, don't. Okay, last one. Last one.
No, there's no wheel.
There isn't.
There's no wheel. Oh!